Gravity had turned into dead bodies. Gravity had turned into dead bodies. And so that meant we had dead bodies all over the place. That was now gravity. If we didn't pick up the dead bodies, then we would float away into space. It only had to be dead bodies and nothing else. Some people tried putting heavy rocks on themselves, but they still floated away. We all woke up one morning, floating onto our ceilings, and there were loads of dead bodies around that were not floating. So we knew we had to hold on to them to not float away. Why gravity turned into dead bodies? I have no idea. Then, as the dead bodies that were once gravity had started to turn to dust, people started to float away again. These dead bodies had a time limit, but some guy found out that if he killed someone, then that new dead body will be gravity, and it will stop him from floating away. It was only dead bodies that could help us not to float away. Then, as the dead body that I was carrying started to eradicate, I started to feel lighter, and I was floating. Then I quickly shot a large guy, and I held on to him. That large guy I shot, he was also holding a dead body to keep from floating away. So I had two dead bodies on top of me, and that was stopping me from floating away. As I laid on the ground, rather grateful that I wasn't floating away, and I could see some people whose dead bodies had eradicated and were now floating away in space. Their screams went more silent the more they went up in the skies. I wondered how and why gravity turned into dead bodies. And even though I couldn't move as I had two dead bodies on top of I started thinking about my life. I remembered a time when I worked in the uncaring business. I hated it because I always cared. You should never care when you are in the uncaring business. Every day I had to torture people and do all sorts of things to them. I couldn't stop myself from hurting them, and when I would try to stop, a demon would shout at me to keep torturing them. Then I realized that I was in hell and that the uncaring business was definitely a part of hell. Then I was saved from drowning. That's what I was thinking as I had two dead bodies on top of me, and they were my gravity.